Okay, so this video is meant for my Concepts of Algebra 2 students. We have a quiz over section 6.3 and 6.4 on Tuesday, so this video is meant to help. Alright, so here's the first problem we're going to look at. It's a simplified problem. Problem says x times x squared plus x plus 1 minus 2x times x cubed plus 2x squared plus 1. Alright, so we are going to simplify this. This is an addition and subtraction problem, but it also involves distribution. Okay, out in front we have this x. This x has to be distributed to everything in the parentheses. Alright, that's the way we're going to get the parentheses to go away. When you multiply variables, you need to add their exponents. So this is x times x squared. X times x squared would give me x cubed. X to the first, x squared, that's x cubed. Next, x times positive x, that's positive x squared. X times x is x squared. And then lastly, x times positive 1. That's just going to be positive 1x, or positive x. And the first polynomial is done. Now, we have a negative 2x that needs to be distributed to this second parenthesis. Notice I circled the negative because it has to go with the 2x. So we have negative 2x times x to the third. That's going to be a minus 2. And then x times x to the third, this is x to the fourth. Negative 2x times positive 2x squared. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. And x times x squared, that's an x cubed. And then negative 2 times positive 1. Negative 2x times positive 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, and the x just comes along. And what we've done is we've successfully gotten rid of the parentheses. And now we can combine any like terms we might see. I look for the highest power. It's x to the fourth. There's only one of them, so we just write it. Minus 2x to the fourth. Then I look at my x cubes. I have 1x cubed here, minus 4. 1 minus 4 is negative 3, and the exponent stays the same, x cubed. Then I look for my x squareds, only one of them. It's 1x squared, positive x squared. And then my x's, plus x, minus 2x. This is plus 1x, minus 2x, that's minus 1x, or minus x. And there is no number by itself, so we are done. So again, I cannot emphasize enough to make sure you distribute the negative sign with the number. Okay, so here is the next problem, a word problem. It says the number of male and female residents in the U.S. from 1998 through 2004 can be modeled by, and we have a couple of these long equations. These long equations are the important for you for this problem. And again, it involves a lowercase t, and t is the number of years since 1998. It says create a model that represents the total number of residents t. Well, in order to find the total, right, the total, t is the total. Well, there's male and female people, that's all we have. So to find the total, we're going to take the male and we're going to add it to the female. So because it's addition, you do exactly what the terms say. Whatever their signs are, you use those signs. So to combine the t cubes, we're going to take negative 7.7. And we're going to add negative 5.2, or just subtract 5.2, whatever you want to do. And you get negative 12.9, and that's t cubed. Then we do 64 plus 41, because they're both positive, and we get positive 105t squared. Notice the exponents aren't changing. And then you do 1454 plus 1336. And that's going to give us 2790t, 2790t. And then we do 135161 plus 140751, again because they're both positive. And we get 275912. And again, this equation, if we plug in any year since 1998, so like, if we plug in 2 would be the year 2000, okay, because you would add it to 1998. So if we plugged in 2 for t, we could get the population of the United States in that year. Okay. Okay, our next set of problems, we'll do 3 multiplication problems. So it says multiply. So we have problem A here. It says 2x times 6x minus 1. So it's all just distribution. We have a 2x being multiplied by a 6x minus 1. This 2x has to go once, twice, into that parenthesis. So it's multiplication. 2x times 6x. 2 times 6 is 12. X times x, you add the exponents, that's x squared. X to the first, x to the first, x to the second. 2x times negative 1, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and the x comes along. And that's it. Okay, next, problem B. So we have a binomial, 5x minus 6, 2 terms, times a trinomial, 3 terms, negative 2x squared plus x plus 3. So first we take the 5x, and it goes once, twice, 3 times, to everything in the second parenthesis. So it's all multiplications. 5x times negative 2x squared. That's negative 10x cubed. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, x cubed. 5x times positive x. That's positive 5, and x make x squared. And then 5x times positive 3. 5 times 3 is 15, and the x just comes down. Now we take the negative 6. Notice I said negative 6. And we go once, twice, 3 times. Negative 6 times negative 2x squared is positive 12x squared. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12, and the x squared comes. Negative 6 times positive x, that's just going to be negative 6x. And negative 6 and positive 3, negative 6 times positive 3. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of room. Let me scoot over real fast. That's easy fix. There we go. Negative 18. And we have distributed the 5x and the negative 6 to everything in the other parenthesis. And now we can combine the like terms. Okay, so I'll use pink to do this. I find my highest power, that's x cubed. This is the only one. Negative 10x cubed. Then I look for my squareds. 5 and 12. 5x squared plus 12x squared is positive 17x squared. Then I do 15 and negative 6 because they're both x's. 15 minus 6 is 9, positive 9x. And then the minus 18 is the only number left. And there is the product of those two parentheses. Okay, and last problem here, problem C. It says the parentheses 2x plus 1 quantity squared. We need to remember what this means. Because remember, we did squareds and we did cubes. If, the parenthesis is squared, that means you write it twice. 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Again, where is the multiplication? It occurs when you write the parentheses twice. There is no multiplication here in the first one, the first way it looks, but now there's multiplication. And we multiply. 2x times 2x and 2x times 1. 2x times 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. X and x is x squared. 2x times positive 1. 2 times 1 is 2, and the x just comes. And now we do the 1 to the 2x and the 1. 1 times 2x is positive 2x. 1 times 1 is positive 1. Notice everything has a sign involved. Everything has a sign. And now we combine the like terms. 4x squared is the highest power, so 4x squared. 2x and 2x make 4x, and the plus 1 comes. And there's your answer to that multiplication problem. Very good. Okay, so here's the next problem. This is a volume question. I have a rectangular prism here, and I want to know what is the expression for the volume given dimensions x plus 1, x plus 2, and x minus 1. Well, volume is length times width times height. Length, width, and height. Okay? So I'm going to fill in, and it doesn't matter where you put them. It doesn't matter at all. I'm actually going to put them just the way they are. X plus 1. Actually, what I'm going to do, this is a little trick. I'm going to put the x minus 1 next. It truly doesn't matter, but it's going to make something easier for us. Okay? And I'm going to multiply these two first. Notice one says plus 1 and minus 1. I think something nice is going to happen. Let's see. So, x to the x and to the negative 1. X to the x and the negative 1. So we get x squared minus x. 1 to the x and the negative 1. Plus x minus 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And now notice when I combine my like terms, x squared, notice what happens here. Minus x plus x cancel. I knew that was going to happen because of the plus 1 and minus 1. Just something I knew ahead of time. So instead of having 3 terms, I only have 2 terms here. Okay? It's a little trick, but it doesn't matter if you remember or not. And now we bring the x minus 2 down. Or the x plus 2 down, I'm sorry. And this x squared minus 1 needs its parenthesis because we have to then multiply them. Alright? And we multiply them, I'll use a different color here. X squared to the x and to the 2. That's x cubed plus 2x squared. The minus 1 to the x and to the 2. That's minus x minus 2. No simplification needed here because there are no like terms. Throw your v equals out in front. And there's your volume equation. If you did not put the 3 terms in this order, who cares? You'll get the same answer as long as you do your math correctly. Okay, here is our next problem. We're going to do a division problem. So here's our polynomials that we are going to divide. 2x squared plus 7x minus 10 divided by 2x minus 3. First thing you have to do is set up your problem. The 2x minus 3 is what you're dividing by. It goes on the outside. And inside of my division box, I'm going to put 2x squared plus 7x minus 10. And recall that it's always about the front terms. How do I make 2x become 2x squared? Well, in order to make 2x become 2x squared, there's already the 2's, there's already one x, but to be x squared, you have to have another x. It has to be x times x to get x squared. So I need to multiply 2x by an x. There are 2 terms here, so I put it over the second term. And with this x, once, twice. 2x times x is 2x squared, and negative 3 times x is negative 3x. These 2 terms should be exactly the same, so that when I draw my line and I change my signs, minus 2x squared plus 3x, these guys cancel. 2x squared minus 2x squared cancel. And 7x plus 3x is 10x. They're both positive, so add them. And we bring the minus 10 down. And now, again, I look at the first term here and the first term down there. How do I make 2x become 10x? Well, they're already the x, so no x is in play, but I need to make the 2 become a 10 by multiplying it by 5. And again, once, twice with that 5. 2x times 5 is 10x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. These should be the same so that when I draw my line and change my signs, the 10x's cancel, and negative 10 plus 5 is, or plus 15 is 5. So your final answer, remember, this is a remainder, so your final answer is x plus 5, which you get up top, plus the remainder, 5, over what you divided by, 2x minus 3. And there you go. Okay, last problem coming. Okay, here's the next problem. This is an area problem. I've given you a rectangle. I've told you that the area of this rectangle is 4x squared plus 15x plus 14. I'm going to give you the width. The width is 4x plus 7. I want you to find me the length, or whatever you want to call it. All right. So we do need to know that area is length times width. So let's call that the length and this the width. Who cares? So if I want to find what the width is, divide by the length, divide by the length. So what we need to do is this right here. Area divided by the length. Area, 4x squared plus 15x plus 14. That area divided by the length, 4x plus 7. Okay, so this is what we need to do. So let's write it out as 4x plus 7 going into 4x squared plus 15x plus 14. And again, we should assume that there's going to be no remainder when we do the problem. If you get a remainder, you have to think that you've done something wrong. So we look at the first terms, 4x and 4x squared. There's already the 4's. To make this x become an x squared, I need to multiply by x. Two terms, so put it over the second term, x. And distribute to get 4x squared plus 7x. These should be the same so that when I draw my line and I change my signs, they're going to disappear. 4x minus 4x squared goes away. 15x minus 7x, that's 8x. And I bring the 14 down. Then again, compare the 4x, the front term, to the 8x, the new front term. To make 4x become 8x, I need to multiply by a positive 2. Once, twice. 4x times 2 is 8x. 7 times 2 is 14. I want these to be the same, so I draw my line and change the signs. 8x minus 8x cancels. 14 minus 14 cancels. You have a remainder of 0. And you have found the width. The width of your rectangle is x plus 2. The x plus 2 comes from the top right here. Okay, so hopefully you copy these problems down. You can use this for the quiz on Tuesday. Okay, we'll see you then. Have a good weekend.